Welcome to the Bourbon Burner series, where we experiment with bourbon and food, usually raw meats, stuff like that. In this series, I know last week we did bourbon soaked brats. Let's find out what we're going to do this week, right after this. How about one of my favorite foods, and probably yours too? If you don't like bacon, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can trust you as a human. But anyway, I'm not talking about vegans or vegetarians or whatever. But if you eat meat and you don't like bacon, do you really like meat? So what I have here is original thick cut bacon. This is Hormel Black Label, natural hardwood smoke, but it has not been sugar cured, right? So this is just smoke cured bacon, right? Okay, so we have that. I have some brown sugar, and I'll show you that in a minute. Now, we're going to record everything from in here because there's no reason to take you to the kitchen just to show me preheating an oven and putting these racks in there. I can show it all to you right here. What I have are two sheet pans with a relatively high wall on them, and I lined them with tin foil, made sure, the sides were covered and everything. And I have these little racks that lay in here that keep the bacon out of its own grease. So we're going to oven bake this bacon. It's one of my favorite methods for it. But this is all you have to do. Get you a couple of racks ready. What I've done is I've been soaking bacon in bourbon. And again, I use Benchmark Old Number 8, the McAfee Benchmark. And it's distilled and bottled by Buffalo Trace, but it's under $10. So you can see, I don't know if you can see the bourbon in there. It's rolling around on the bacon. This bacon's been in there I'll hold it over here so you can scroll down and look at it if you want to. And you can see all the bourbon in there. So this has been in there for 6 hours. So I have 6 pieces of bacon in here that have been soaking in bourbon, and I'm of course going to do some bacon as a control. But on this sheet pan right here is where, and it has the slightly larger rack on it. Sounds pretty good, huh? So this is where I'm going to put my bourbon bacon, and the other one I'll do my control. So we're just going to have to get messy here. Let me pull this out, let some of that bourbon kind of drip off, and we're just going to have to get these worked around on this rack. Okay. And it is going to fit nicely. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle 3 of these with brown sugar. And I am very messy. I'm going to have to do a magic of video production. And just like that, I'm back, and I have a paper towel so I can wipe my fingers off. Okay, now, I pulled some brown sugar out, put it in this little bowl, so that, because my fingers have kind of bacon on them. So what I'm going to do is sprinkle some brown sugar pretty liberally over 3 of these pieces of bacon. Okay. And it can just pile up. It'll melt down as it cooks. So I'm just going to put a pretty good amount over 3 of these. And we're going to have bourbon and brown sugar and plain bourbon. Okay. So there's that one. And I've done this before, but not with bourbon. I've never bourbon soaked the bacon first. So this will be a new one to try. Around Christmas time, I usually do, and you can see the brown sugar starting to melt in already just from the bacon being damp. Let me do that, get some of that sugar off my hands. Now that one's ready, let me prepare my control batch. And I'm only going to do a couple of pieces. One with brown sugar, one without. So let me just pull 2 of these out. All right. And we'll just lay them across here any old way because I'm only cooking 2 of them. All right, now what's going to happen, once I get the brown sugar on this other one, I'm going to go preheat the oven to 400 degrees and cook them for 15 minutes. And that's it. And then I'll meet you back in here after that. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll put the rest of the brown sugar on one of these. Well, I'll go ahead and do it so you can see it. Here it is. It's going to be this one. And I'll keep track of which way I'll put them in the oven so I'll know which one's which. And we'll go ahead and dose this one up with a good heaping of brown sugar. All right. And now I'm going to go preheat the oven, put them in 15 minutes, and I'll meet you back right here. All right, and we're back, and here we go. We have control bacon, one with brown sugar, one without. We have the 2 plates of bourbon bacon, one just bourbon soaked and one bourbon soaked with brown sugar on top before I baked it. Bake these on convection bake in the oven so, you know, the air can circulate all around really well, and on the racks, and they turned out pretty well. So I'm going to start with the control bacon and see what we have here, which I know what this one is because I've had it before, and they're hot. I just got these out of the oven. So let me try this one. Man, bacon's good. Bacon's really good. That one's sticky. Has the brown sugar on it. Wow. Now the brown sugar, it's for particular applications. I mean, I don't really care for the brown sugar on the bacon when I'm just doing like eggs and stuff or whatever. But if we're doing French cream eggs and French toast and different things like that, or my wife makes these things called pancake dippers, where she cooks the bacon and then pours pancake batter on top and lets it cook, and it flips it, you know, to cook the pancake, and then you dip it in maple syrup, and it has candy bacon on the inside. So that's good. But both of them are fantastic. Now, let's try the bourbon soaked bacon here. And of course, I'm just cooking bacon. So, you know, you can cook, there's recipes that you can put candied bacon on or crumble it or whatever. That's good. It is good. But I think it took some of the saltiness out. Let me try this one again. Definitely has more flavor, different flavor in it. Like I said, not all these are going to turn out fantastic, but it's an experiment to try. It is really good though. It did come way back on the salt though. I'm not getting the salt kick out of it. I'm just getting good meaty flavor. It tastes more like some kind of jerky or something after it's been bourbon soaked, which I think is pretty good. But let's try this candied one. That's the one right there. All right. Big, huge thumbs up for the bourbon candied bacon. Wow. No, that is fantastic right there. That's definitely the good one right there. All right. So from now on, I'm not just making candy bacon anymore. I'm making bourbon candy bacon. That was a 6-hour soak. And the reason I did the brats for 18 hours because they have the casing on it, and I didn't know how that was going to work. But since bacon is just slab meat, I just barely covered it in bourbon in a dish. You saw the bacon dish, and just left it for 6 hours. Put it in at 9 this morning, pulled it out at 3 this afternoon. Let me try that candied bacon again, plain. Pretty good, but this one is the bourbon candy bacon. That's the ticket. I'm glad I did it both ways. I'm having a hard time talking. Hang on. Okay. I'll edit that a little bit. That sticky sugar. Okay. But so here's the verdict. Regular bacon cannot be beat. Okay. Bourbon soaked regular bacon, not so much, right? But candied bacon soaked in bourbon, 2 thumbs up all the way. It's the only way I'm ever going to do candied bacon again. So that's my personal opinion, my preference. It killed some of the salt in it, which the sugar does anyway. But I think with the sugar killing the salt, you need an extra kick to it. And I think bourbon is what does it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. As always, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell down there for notifications, and I promise I'll keep bringing you these videos.